And so it's roughly this $100,000 in net worth mark where money starts to work for you instead of you working for it, and your net worth and your investments can really compound. But that first 100K is also the hardest to acquire by far. And Charlie Munger, the man, said it best. Here's his quote on the screen. But making that first $100,000 by the time you're 30 is actually very achievable as a normal person. And yes, it's better if you're younger, and most of my audience is under the age of 28, which is why I'm making this video. But this applies to everyone, whether you are 15, whether you're 29, whether you're 46 years old. And this isn't gonna be like a principle type video. This is literally a checklist. This is 5 things to do, where if you're watching this as a 20-year-old, as a 23-year-old, do these 5 things, you will have that $100,000 within 10 years. Now that said, this video is sponsored on behalf of a company on the NASDAQ with the single largest Solana treasury out of all the public companies. So they have a pretty cool story, and I want to get you up to speed. And so that company is Upexi Inc. And now you probably know what Solana is already if you're watching this, but if not, Solana is one of the largest blockchains in the world, and it kind of forms the building blocks for all different kinds of decentralized applications. You can think of it like WordPress for websites, or Google Chrome really for the internet. It's scaled to a massive market cap of $127 billion, 3 billion transactions a month, over 23 million active users, and partnerships with many of the leading mainstream financial firms like BlackRock. Now, Upexi's mission is to open up Solana's speed, scale, and ecosystem upside to institutions. And this follows the wider trend of institutional and market adoption of decentralized assets. Upexi itself was backed by 15 of the most prestigious digital asset venture capital firms, and today is the leading Solana-focused treasury company, which is purpose-built to help institutions and shareholders capture upside through Solana. With that in mind, what they actually do is pretty simple. First, they accumulate locked Solana at a discount, which immediately provides upside to shareholders. And number 2, they stake that SOL for a 7 to 9% annual yield. Now, to date, Upexi has purchased about 2 million SOL tokens worth about $447 million. That's about 0.3% of the total supply or circulating tokens. And their treasury has returned over 155%. And this is a fun stat. Their current holdings are producing $105,000 per day just from staking yields. And the equivalent there, if you're not familiar with staking, is just like owning a bond or a stock and getting a dividend or a payment just for owning it. So that's where Upexi is currently at. But what about looking forward? Well, they just closed their $100 million private placement in April, which is focused on the accumulation of Solana. And then just a few weeks ago, Upexi announced a strategic investment in Alpha Exchange. They're a next-gen trading platform that combines AI-driven trading insights, real-time analytics, and intuitive tools with institutional-grade security and strict regulatory compliance. So with this agreement, Upexi will earn a royalty interest in future revenues and the option to expand that interest as user and growth milestones are surpassed. And this supports the Upexi thesis of supporting innovative businesses which have strong potential that align with shareholder interests. And one last thing, Upexi recently established an advisory committee where Arthur Hayes, and if you wanted to know, that is the co-founder of BitMEX. And that said, I'll leave you with Upexi's mission: compound value for shareholders and accelerate the adoption of Solana as foundational infrastructure for the decentralized future. And that said, to learn more, you can check out Upexi's investor relations page at ir.upexi.com, or this link right here on the screen. So here's the thing. To do this, we need to invest money. Now, 50% of Americans have never owned a stock or an index fund, and over 80% of people under the age of 30. So step number 1 is to right now just pause this video, open a tax-advantaged brokerage account, and add a 2-week withdrawal block, meaning you have to wait at least 2 weeks before you can actually withdraw money. So you can do this immediately, it takes no effort to do, and most brokerage accounts are going to be completely free to open. And this is going to set you up for future steps. And that's because we need to invest money. That's the only way it grows. And you immediately put yourself ahead, if you're under the age of 30, 80% of Americans and like 95+% of the world just by doing that, putting $5 in and buying a single stock. And there are a few types of tax advantaged account, just pick one of them. And for the most common setup, what that means is you won't be taxed at all on the money that you make in this account. That means you can invest $1, you could turn that dollar into $50 or $100 over your career, and you wouldn't pay any taxes whatsoever on that $50. So there we go. You are 20% of the way done through making that first $100,000. Okay, now step 2 is to reduce spending by 10%. Now I said it wouldn't require any serious lifestyle changes, and that's true. There may be some people who are watching this who cannot do that. Like you literally spend nothing or you're homeless, I don't know. But we did the math and over 95% of you who are watching this can 100% afford to cut your spending by 10% by spending a little bit less on the things that are superfluous. Maybe you make coffee at home instead of buying a coffee on the way to work. Maybe you just let go of 5 of those streaming services you don't really need and just stick to Netflix. Whatever the case is, let me tell you why I'm saying this. So for over 90% of Americans, if you cut your spending by 10%, which if you look at the stats on what people spend money on is extremely achievable for nearly everyone that's watching this, and be honest with yourself about your spending, is enough to generate that $530 per month. So literally, if 100,000 people watch this video, for over 90,000 of you, you can find that $530 per month by making very limited lifestyle changes, and that $530 per month is going to make you a millionaire. And again, don't seriously change your lifestyle. That's not what I'm pitching you. Just look for the categories where it's relatively easy for you to cut spend. And I say this going off how much nearly all Americans spend that are going to impact your lifestyle the least. All you got to do, cut that spending by 10% and it's going to make you a millionaire. But here's the thing, you may not actually need to do that at all. Let's say you just graduated college and you're 23 or 24. You are going to get promoted a lot over the first 5-10 years of your career. And what nearly everyone does is the moment they start earning more money, they start spending more money. And so let's say you're living on $1,000 or $2,000 a month right now, and you get a promotion where your salary increases by $1,000 a month. If you just didn't change your lifestyle at all, and you're living like that now, so it works for you, then you just doubled that $500 per month, which will literally make you $5 to $10 million if you're in your early 20s and you invest that. So step 2 and step 3 kind of work in unison. And this just depends where you are in your life and your situation explicitly. So the rule is just don't change your lifestyle at all the next 1 to 2 times you get promoted. I don't care about after that, then start spending money. But for the first 1 to 2 times you get promoted and get a pay raise, don't change your spending and take the additional money that you make and use that to get to that $530 per month number. And again, I just want to get you your first 100K. I don't want you to invest $5,000 a month to live super frugally and put all your money into stocks. Like, great if you do that. I just want you to find $530 per month. That is my mission. That will get you to the point of financial freedom. And if you just follow step 3 and ignore step 2, there will literally be no negative change to your lifestyle, no impact to it whatsoever. Okay, now step 4, we're tying the first 3 steps together. You're going to auto withdraw a portion of your paycheck into that brokerage account that you set up in step 1. If you don't know how to do this, there's a bunch of services that do it for you. Just Google how to automate some of my paycheck going into a brokerage account. And what I really recommend here is gamify it. Have a little tracker that's like your way to $100,000, or have bets with friends. Do something so that you align dopamine with getting that money, that $530 per month, into your brokerage account. And remember, we have a withdrawal kind of blockage period, that 2 weeks that you should have set up in step 1. So what this means is it's all automatic. You don't have to think about anything. So for example, let's say next week you get promoted and you're making an extra $8,000 per year. Well, that $8,000 per year is $650 per month. So all you do is you set up an automation that takes that $650 per month and sends it to your brokerage account. Then we'll get to step 5 in just a second, but all you do there is you don't take it out. And if you do try and take it out, you have 2 weeks to think about it before you're actually able to. And that promotion itself, no lifestyle change, no moving money around, that could make you millions of dollars. That said, that all rests on the shoulders of step number 5. And step number 5 is take that money in the brokerage account, buy funds like index funds or blue chip like established stocks, and hold. Then just don't think about the stock market. So don't try and trade, don't buy crypto, don't buy high risk individual stocks. That's a subject for another video. I just want to probabilistically maximize the chance that you make over $100,000 by the time you're 30 and have that multi-million-dollar retirement nest egg. All we need for that is $530 per month in the S&P 500 in a big fund, and we just want to compound that over decades. And for a lot of Gen Z and young investors, we all get killed by things like crypto and GameStop and these high-risk individual stocks. If you want to make a lot of money fast, you want to gamble, go to the casino, do exactly that. But if you just want to get that $100,000, just follow step number 5. Don't think about anything else. Don't second guess yourself. You did it. You're done. And so the step number 6 here is just wait. Just go live your life, live an awesome life, do nothing else. Just let that automatic system work for you. And if you do that, you are a probabilistically guaranteed millionaire and ahead of over 99% of the world financially. And for comparison, only 8% of adults in the US are millionaires. And even in a place like Switzerland, only 16% of adults are millionaires. And so what that means is with this $530 per month, you're going to be ahead of literally nearly everyone. All you have to do, follow those 5 steps and wait. I know that's not the most exciting system on the planet, but genuinely, again, that is what gets you out of the rat race. That is what leaves a ton of money for your kids who grow it as well and sets off this multi-generational wealth dynasty. It really just comes down to doing the basics and doing the basics well, and you don't have to have a massive amount of money to start. All you need is a job or an income source of any kind that gives you $500, $1,000, however much more is great, but just $500 even, so that you can go and take that and compound it through assets over time. So step 1 you can do right now. Go open that brokerage account, get started with this. And again, just finishing step 1 puts you ahead of 80% of people. That said, I genuinely wish the best for you in your financial journey moving forward, and I'll see you all in the next one.